Hey everybody, Derek here, and inside this video I'm going to show you how you can pull these ranking reports very, very cheap. We're talking about a couple of cents a piece without any expensive tools or anything like that, and how we're doing it all with AI, and how you can do the same exact thing. As a matter of fact, you can build reports for ranking reports, you can build competitor analysis, you can build out topical authority maps, you can do a lot with these AI tools. So I'm going to show you exactly how we're pulling this off in this video. So let's go ahead, let's dive into the computer and get started. All right, so we are inside of Claude, and I should start this thing by saying I apologize for not looking super polished for this video. However, I am not apologizing for the hat. You're just going to have to deal with the hat through this video. So with that being said, let's talk about the two tools that you're going to need. You're going to need Claude. You need a Claude subscription. A $20 a month subscription will be fine for what you're needing here. I just recommend do not use Claude Team. Claude Team has some restrictions and it just doesn't work out very well. The next thing that you're going to need is the Data for SEO connection. So dataforseo.com, and neither of these, I don't have any affiliation with either of these. So these are just tools that we are using. So if I click refresh, you will see my balance is this right here, $47 and roughly 19 cents. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to document that, because what we are doing is we're running these reports and they run anywhere between roughly 2 to 3 up to 5 cents a piece is what I have seen. So we'll just do a legit accurate figure while we're here and get down to the nitty gritty, so you'll know exactly what you can run with these particular prompts and pulling the API. So again, $20 a month subscription, then Data for SEO. When you get Data for SEO, it's going to give you $1 trial. And granted, $1 is not a lot, but that is plenty for you to run a lot of different reports and to get a good idea of what you can pull from Data for SEO. And in my testing, I really like the data. I think it's very comparable to what you would see with something like Semrush. So what you want to do is, if you like that, then they're going to ask you to deposit a $50 deposit. And then when you make these API calls, it will just pull off of that. It's not going to charge you a monthly fee or anything like that. There's no minimum or anything like that. It will just work off of that particular balance. But like I said, with Claude, we're not going to be using the web browser. We are going to be using the desktop app. And the desktop app, for those of you that have already used that, you know there is a huge difference in the desktop app versus the web browser. If you are still using the web browser, get the desktop app. Okay, just get the desktop app and get this set up as soon as you possibly can. What you're going to do is you're going to go right here on the bottom left, and you're going to go to settings, and then you're going to go right here to where it says connectors, and you will see the connectors we have listed here. One is Google Drive, so this can access Google Drive accounts. You've got Google Calendar, GitHub, and then you'll see these two right here, Data for SEO, and then File System. Okay, File System is something called MCP, Model Context Protocol, I think is what it stands for. And yes, this is some nerd shit, and I'm not going to show you how to set it up, because there's plenty of tools out there. As a matter of fact, if you have trouble, then just go to Claude and just say, hey, can you help me? That's how I got it set up. I'm not a coder, and what you can do with Claude is just say, hey, I need help setting up MCP, and it will walk you through exactly what to do. That's the way I did it. That's the way it worked for me. And I had some issues. I had some things that popped up. And so what I would do is I'd take a screenshot, or I would copy the messages that I was getting, and I would pop back into Claude, and I got it up and running, and it's running really smooth now. So first thing that you want to do, set up MCP before you do anything else. Set that up, and then you're going to install Data for SEO. Again, I just did a walkthrough with Claude, and Claude walked me through the entire process of setting up Data for SEO as well. And so once you get these two configured, this is going to look a little something like this. Now, the advantage of using MCP on Claude desktop is that it can access your local files. So just picture this for a moment. Let's say you're wanting to, access sales letters or sales materials or webinar templates or webinar scripts, and you're wanting to reference those. Well, before, what you would have to do is you would have to come in here and you would have to upload a file. Well, now with the desktop app, you can just reference that particular folder, and it can access all of your files. And so what this does is this saves on your chat window space, so that way you're not tapping out on the chat window. And it's just overall just a better workflow. And if you're doing SEO, then you've got templates, you've got some of these prompts that are pretty lengthy that you can access. So for example, this is one of our prompts here for building a topical map right here, and you'll see that this right here is like 5 pages long. So what we're able to do is we are able to reference that inside of Claude, inside our prompt, and once you do that, then you're saving so much on your chat window space, so that way you can actually get the prompt done and you can actually get this done. Also, with the $20 a month subscription, you get access to Claude Code. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but this right here is enough to get you started and to see what you're able to actually pull off with Claude with a desktop app. If you did Claude Code, you can apply some of the same techniques that we're talking about here and get these reports done and pull some really good data from Data for SEO inside the Claude Code app as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to we're going to go to the chat window. Before I do, I mentioned Google Calendar. This is something that a lot of you, I think, would find really beneficial, because if you are wanting to, if you've got a site that you're using and you're running with, and you're wanting to schedule, running ranking reports, well, you can put this on your Google Calendar, and every day that you come in, you can prompt Claude. You can say, what's on my Google Calendar, and this will populate what you need to do on the Google Calendar. So if you've put it, say, every Monday to run a ranking report for a particular domain, well, that's going to populate inside of Claude, and it can just run that particular prompt for you all inside the desktop app. So very cool stuff of what you can do, and literally Claude can be, sort of a SEO control room, if you will, being able to run a lot of this different stuff. So what we're looking at here, we're going to go to a new chat. I'm going to pop in a prompt here. I'm going to say that was actually what my balance was there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in here. This is the prompt we're going to do. I am needing some SEO data for current rankings for our domain, and I'm just going to put this in here, and I'm going to do our merge tree service. mergetreeservice.com. Do not include historical data and don't need analysis. Just give me the ranking data where we show up, and I'm going to say put this into a nice looking chart in the artifact that I can share. Okay, so Claude has artifacts, and so what these are is this is a window, and it will open up and build out a really nice looking graph and a nice looking chart. So when I do this, you can see right here, this is getting the current ranking data. Again, this is pulling from Data for SEO, and now you will see this is building out our chart. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just watch this thing work and see what this thing comes up with. And then we'll publish it and then be able to take a look at it and see what it looks like. And then we're going to go back to Data for SEO, refresh it, and see how much money we spent, because this was our total here, $47.18, and we'll see what the damage was to build this particular report. But I can assure you this is super, super inexpensive, and this is getting you some really good data that you can work with moving forward. And this is something too that I would be willing to share with a client or something like that if we were, doing some client work or whatnot. All right, so this is going to finish up here in just a second. And if you wanted to put your logo in here, you could tell it to say, hey, or your company name, I should say. You could say, include my company name and my phone number and a contact us page. You could do all of that, and it would put all that together. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to click publish, and we're going to publish and copy link. And then this is something you can go out and share. So it looks a little something like this. So you see we've got 15 total keywords, 13 ranking, pages 1 through 3, And so this is then going to show us the keyword, current rank, search volume, and you can see the trend, if we're up from 20, up from 23, that sort of thing. Tree service Pensacola, this is a new one here at number 24. And yeah, this looks really good, looks very professional. And this would be totally something that I would be okay with sharing with the masses. Now, when you're doing this stuff right here, when you're doing Claude is automatically going to know if you have got a prompt related to SEO. So you could say, hey, give me the keyword analysis and give it a keyword, and it's automatically going to know to prompt the data for SEO API. It knows exactly what you're asking for. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Let's go back in here and check what we spent, what the damage was. So I'm just going to refresh this right here, and so that way you can see this in real time. Let's look and see what we got here. So our previous balance was $47.18, roughly 19 cents, and now it's $47.17 or 18 cents. So my eyesight's not the best in the world. So roughly about 2 cents, a penny to 2 pennies maybe. So that's what the damage was for this report. And again, I'm very happy with it. Love the way that it looks very professional. Again, you can modify this to where you've got include your company name at the top, and you could have a call to action. If you forget that, you could just say, hey, can you include a call to action and a phone number on this page? Make it go. Can you include a call to action on this page? Click here to get started and link to DerekPierceMedia.com. See what this comes up with here. And you see it's just going to modify that to what I just asked. Look at that. Click here to get started and improve your rankings. And that is how this whole thing works. Look, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you get a lot out of it, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.